Hey guys, this is a video that lists sandwich recipes for each Pokemon type in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that will grant you encounter power level 2 without the use of Herba Mystica. I realized sometimes I wanted to hunt a shiny, but I didn't always have the proper Herba Mystica on me, so I figured I can't be the only one. Now these aren't the only non-Herba Mystica recipes out there, so if I didn't list your favorite, sorry about that, but in the name of making the video not enormous, I narrowed it down to one recipe for each Pokemon type. I will be listing the recipes for each Pokemon type in alphabetical order, and we'll be adding timestamps, so if you just need one specific type, there will be a pinned comment listing those. Also, if you are missing recipes, I have a video on how to get all 151 recipes that we'll put a card for in the corner and also will be listed in the description. Also, a quick tip, always dispose of the bread on the top of the screen. It is not necessary for the sandwich to provide the buffs and can only potentially knock ingredients off the bottom piece of bread. If you found this useful, a like would be super appreciated. Now on to the video. The sandwich recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 for bug Pokemon is the Ultra Potato Salad Sandwich. It is number 54 on your sandwich recipe list. It requires 1 potato salad, 1 cucumber, 1 red bell pepper, 1 avocado, 1 onion, and 1 mayo. The sandwich recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 for dark type Pokemon is the Ultra Avocado Sandwich. It is number 46 on your sandwich recipe list. It requires 1 avocado, 1 smoked filet, 1 tomato, 1 lettuce, and 1 salt. The sandwich recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 for dragon type Pokemon is the Great Avocado Sandwich. It is number 45 in your sandwich recipe list. It requires 1 avocado, 1 smoked filet, 1 tomato, and 1 salt. For a recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 for electric type Pokemon, there are none that do not require Herba Mystica in the sandwich list. So go into creative mode and this will require 4 chorizo, 2 yellow pepper, and 4 peanut butter. The sandwich recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 for fairy type Pokemon is the Ultra Ham Sandwich. It is number 82 in your recipe list. It requires 1 pickle, 1 ham, 1 prosciutto, 1 jalapeno, 1 mayonnaise, and 1 mustard. The recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 for fighting type Pokemon is the Great Ham Sandwich. It is number 81 in your recipe list. It requires 1 pickle, 1 ham, 1 prosciutto, 1 mayo, and 1 mustard. For a recipe that will grant you encounter power level 2 for fire type Pokemon, there are none in the sandwich recipe list, so go into creative mode. You will need 6 rice, 2 curry powder, and 2 wasabi. The recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 for flying type Pokemon is the Great Egg Sandwich. It is number 61 in your recipe list. It requires 1 egg, 1 cucumber, 1 red onion, 1 salt, and 1 mayo. The recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 with ghost type Pokemon is the Ultra Vegetable Sandwich. It is number 114 in your recipe list. It requires 1 vinegar, 1 olive oil, 1 salt, 1 watercress, 1 sliced green pepper, 1 red onion, 1 cucumber, and 1 tomato cherry. The recipe that will grant you encounter power level 2 with grass type Pokemon is the Great Cloth Claw Sandwich. It is number 105 in your recipe list. It requires 1 olive oil, 1 salt, 1 wasabi, 1 cloth stick, 1 tomato, and 1 lettuce. The recipe that will grant you encounter power level 2 with ground type Pokemon is the Great Herb Sausage Sandwich. It is number 29 in your recipe list. It requires 1 herb sausage, 1 ketchup, and 1 mustard. The recipe that will grant you encounter power level 2 with ice type Pokemon is the Ultra Sushi Sandwich. It is number 150 in your recipe list. It requires 1 vinegar, 1 salt, 1 watercress, 1 rice, 2 smoked filet, and 2 cloth stick. The recipe that will grant you encounter power level 2 with normal type Pokemon is the Ultra Curry and Rice Style Sandwich. It is number 34 in your recipe list. It requires 1 rice, 1 jalapeno, 1 tomato, 1 curry powder, and 1 mayo. The recipe that will grant you encounter power level 2 with poison type Pokemon is the Great Noodle Sandwich. It is number 49 in your recipe list. It requires 1 noodle, 1 lettuce, 1 olive oil, and 1 ketchup. For a recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 for psychic type Pokemon, once again there are none in the recipe list, so go into creative mode. This will require 4 herbed sausage, 2 onion, and 4 peanut butter. For a recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 with rock type Pokemon, we have the Ultra BLT sandwich. This is number 74 on your sandwich list. This requires 1 bacon, 1 lettuce, 1 tomato, 1 basil, 1 cheese, 1 mayo, and 1 mustard. For a recipe that will give you encounter power level 2 with steel type Pokemon, we have the Ultra Tower sandwich. This is number 146 in your recipe list. It requires 1 hamburger, 1 noodles, 1 potato salad, 1 rice, 1 cloth stick, 1 tofu, 1 olive oil, 1 salt, and 1 curry powder. For a recipe that will grant you encounter power level 2 with water type Pokemon, once again there are none in the recipe list that do not require Herba Mystica, so go into creative mode. You will need 6 rice, 1 cream cheese, and 1 salt.